Să continuăm.
Feed map, we play as the clone troopers, and there was a handful of different classes this time around. So you play standard infantry, you play heavy, which I was a big fan of, and I'm really curious to see how the classes work on both sides.
Well, I started with assault. I felt like that was kind of a bit vanilla for me, so I gravitated towards heavy, and that's when I really found my stride.
I really like having a structured tier of like what I want to play as. After a while, I went back to the assault trooper, and I played as a spaceship for a while, and then the clone jump trooper was a really nice thing to just fly around.
That won't happen again.
Battle points strike me as a much fairer system than something like pickups. Is that your read of it? Did you like that battle point system?
Yeah, I mean, I feel that it makes the sort of battlefield on the whole a lot more dynamic and interesting. There's not a lot of wandering around and trying to find things. I mean, you can execute things basically on the fly if you've built up enough battle points.
If you want to play as some of the vehicles, you can do that. If you want to play as some of the special characters like Rey or Darth Maul, you can do that. And so it was really interesting getting to lean into what your specialty is as a player instead of hoping that it's luck of the draw and you can just grab whatever upgrade you can.
The point system meant that even if I wasn't killing people, if I was helping the team out in the objectives, I was still building my way towards unlocking something super cool. That being said, one of the things I unlocked was a spaceship, and I was like, great, I can fly around. And so I'm flying around Feed, and I could see Naboo, and I'm like, all right, I'm in a ship, but no one else is. So flying around was cool, but it was sort of lonely, so I'm hoping that they're able to meld the two of those a little bit better closer to release.
Your pathetic rebellion ends here.
Let's talk about thematics. Theed is a really interesting environment. Number one, because it's set in episode 1, which is a very divisive series in the prequels in general. So I guess the first part of this question is, did you enjoy playing on Theed? And secondarily, did you feel really part of the battle?
I will just say that prequels might not have been great, but Theed is awesome. I love the look out of that place, and I love flying through there in a spaceship. It looked so nice to like see everything explode around you.
So it was really cool getting to run through the streets, getting to be in the throne room. It was really exciting to feel like I'll get to know this environment in a way that I didn't necessarily get to in the movies.
We're coming up on the Star Destroyer, but we need to clear that escort.
From what you played today, is there anything that you weren't a big fan of?
Well, like towards the end, I wish that the battle points kind of changed, because once you're inside, you can't, obviously get spaceships, so you kind of have two tiers like locked off that you can't really use. So in a pinch, I'm like, oh man, I wish I had something to use my 500 points, but I had nothing to use it on.
Everyone wanted flying, more flying in Battlefront 2, and I hopped in, and it was cool, it was gorgeous. I was flying around Feed, couldn't really do anything, I couldn't really carpet bomb or anything, so I sort of just flew around until I just flew into the water on purpose, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna become a soldier again.
Impossible.
So that's what our editors thought of Star Wars Battlefront 2, but we want to know, what do you think? Leave your thoughts in the comments, and for all things video games and E3 2017, keep it right here on IGN.
The biggest entertainment event of the year is almost here, and we've got your all-access pass. IGN live from San Diego Comic-Con. World premiere trailers and breaking news as it happens. The biggest stars and the world's best cosplay. IGN live from Comic-Con. Coverage starts July 19.
Two friends, one controller. IGN's Link Together turned Zelda Breath of the Wild into a co-op experience where Link is controlled by two players via splitting the Joy-Cons. Hyrule becomes a much more dangerous place, and friendships teeter on the edge. Check out Link Together Thursdays at 3 p.m. Pacific.
IGN is the world's #1 media brand for video games and entertainment. From breaking news and brand new trailers to reviews, let's plays, and the latest tips and tricks, IGN brings you the videos you crave everywhere you watch. Whether you're on the IGN app, PlayStation, Xbox, YouTube, Facebook, Snapchat, or IGN.com, IGN's got you covered on everything you care about. IGN, the #1 source for video game fans worldwide.
Did you know that IGN has an app that gives you all the tools you love right in the palm of your hands? It's fast, and you can save videos and articles for later, check your personalized feed, or check out all the latest reviews. Download it now on the iOS or Android App Store.
Welcome back to IGN Live at E3. Telltale Games has just announced they're returning to Minecraft, the magical world of Minecraft. What's going on, guys? I'm here with Eric and Kat and Job from Telltale. Minecraft Story Mode Season 2. It's happening. You're making it. The first one was a big success. I didn't know how people would react to it, and they loved it. So you're in a good spot.
Yeah, when we first announced it, everyone was so like confused. Like, wait a minute, Minecraft doesn't have a story. That doesn't make what is this? And brain explode. And Telltale's been around well over a decade. And I think a lot of people coming into Telltale, finding us in 2012 with The Walking Dead, a lot of mature titles,
și de la
had no idea
Telltale
what to expect.
fac o treabă excepțională când vine vorba de jocuri și de povestea unui joc. Recomand mai ales The Walking Dead de la ei, care este minunat, este excepțional. The Wolf Among Us
to build what feels effectively like you crafted a story.
Dacă nu mă înșel,
okay, with the puns,
mai un joc Batman, un joc la Borderlands,
just go with it.
sub forma asta, sub forma narrativă.
So it's very fitting. Yeah, so no, I feel good about that. But yeah, to what Job was saying though, yeah.
Acum vorbesc de Minecraft.
Was a little bit of a question mark for folks when it first was announced. It's been so cool seeing with the second season being announced. Like we had this, this amazingly passionate fan base that rose up during the first season.
Nu am apucat să joc deloc, nu știu aproape mai nimic de el.
Even just off the very first, just the first screenshots that we shared last week, there's been so much fan art that's already emerged of new characters before folks even knew their names, before folks knew anything about them. And yeah, it's been really cool to see.
That's such an awesome position to be in, is just to give people a tease and all of a sudden they're like, hey, I love everything I'm seeing already. I'm already drawing them. I'm already a big fan. Yeah. So what's it like, besides writing the puns, which you get paid to do, and that's a pretty incredible job, what's it like writing these episodes?
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing that's really cool about it is it's such a wide open space, which is both really inspiring and also a little bit intimidating, because it's like you kind of start with just the basics of, I mean, even just looking at crafting the, oh God, I'm sorry, and even just looking at putting together the second season, we sort of had to look at like, okay, Jesse and the gang saved the world in the first season, kind of where do we take the characters from there? And I think what was really cool is we started looking into kind of these characters and saying, okay, so you've saved the world to this group of friends. What happens after that? We pick up, we're picking up like 5 or 7 years later, and it's neat to kind of show how this group of friends has all sort of evolved and changed over time. And I think, the way those relationships and friendships evolve has been really fun to dig into.
And so the audience is giving you feedback in between episodes, right? And does that impact you? Do you sit there
for every Telltale series it does, and I think for this one in particular, like Minecraft itself is so community driven, and we weren't going to have it any other way for story mode. I mean, it wasn't until later on in the season that we found like some of the biggest Minecraft community members, like Stampy Cat and Stacy Plays, Dan TDM. They all showed up in season 1. Some of them are returning for season 2. But as we go along and we hear what fans are saying, we watch all their videos on YouTube. We listen, and in this case, it's the rare case where fans have actually made it back into the game.
And
it's unique too because Eric is actually involved in our recording sessions, which doesn't really happen all the time. So even as we're going along, it's if this doesn't feel exactly like Minecrafty, or if this doesn't feel Jesse-ish, then it gets tweaked right on the spot to make it really that special experience.
That's so cool. And you do voice work on 1,000 projects. Do you get to walk out of them and go like, hey, I had a really cool experience over there. Can we do that more often here? Or you just kind of leave it with the Minecraft guys?
I leave it with these guys, but also these guys are slave drivers, which is, it's awesome, but because of the speed of things coming out, we work really fast.
I like how completely unfazed they're just like, yeah, we are. We own it.
We don't stop.
It's in a good, we have so much fun, but it's really fast paced, and it happens like...
And that's the thing too, is like at Telltale, people like Eric are writing these scripts, and our entire writing and design team, oftentimes other game studios, it's not those, you don't get those people in with the actors.
Right.
And really, diving into the characters, understanding a character in 4 different dimensions of how a player can role play as them. If they're going to play their Jesse as more, more lighthearted, or more of a sarcastic jokester or something like that, it's the characters have so many different facets, so they can swing so many different ways. And if the writers are really, the ones really designing in all these different directions, it's awesome to have them in the room.
Yeah, I mean, and that's been something that's been really cool is you'll have these times where it's like, you'll even be just in the booth and like, you know, they, like say Kat will be recording, we'll be going through a scene, and we'll have an idea as we're going through the scene, like, man, you know, it'll be really cool to do. And then it's sort of like almost, you know, you even have times where you're rewriting on the fly, where you're like, okay, hang on, let's go back, we'll tweak that. And then when the other actor comes into the booth later today, we'll tell them kind of what happened. And it's been a really organic
process. That's so
process.
awesome, because that is like, that's the way I build a house in Minecraft.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm going to make it like this, and it's going to be out of dirt with some iron blocks on top. And then halfway through, I'm like, I have a bigger vision than I ever thought was possible.
Yeah, and this, I'd say with Season 2, there is some expanded crafting elements and a lot more puzzly elements, which is the thing with Telltale games. A lot of people, you know, that loved adventure games growing up, a lot of the Lucas stuff or early Telltale, you know, we don't have that opportunity to kind of play with different objects and play with logic puzzles and kind of like that Moon Logic classic adventure experience.
Right. Yeah. Well, and that's been something I've really loved, because the reason I actually first came to Telltale was I loved games like Puzzle Agent, Sam and Max, Tales from Monkey Island, and so for me, getting to kind of do this game and getting to do like more of like that sort of like classic kind of the more esoteric logic, where it's like it's inventory puzzles, it's, you know, getting to explore and poke around, and I absolutely love doing that stuff. And it'll be really funny because, you know, I'll be explaining to Kat in the booth, I'm like, okay, so this is what you say if you try and combine this item with that item, and it doesn't work, but we need to hint to the player the thing that they do need to do. And so it's been really, really fun.
The whole process is very Minecrafty of making the game, actually. So,
which is fun, because a lot of those old point-and-click adventure games were sort of completely, almost hysterically illogical. Like, you would sit there and be like, oh, I have to make a clay bomb out of a soap and a candle, and it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
But then you have to write something like that, and then you kick it over to you, and you're like, I have to come up with a reaction for when that doesn't work. And you're there yelling at everyone to go faster.
No. We have a lot of fun, and hopefully that comes through in the game. I think it does.
It does. And I mean, it's, again, like story mode, it's, you know, this is the kind of game where younger audiences and older audiences play together. And I think over the last few years, we've kind of seen Telltale move from this place where, you know, it's really feeling more like this interactive TV network, where there's stuff for adults, there's stuff for kids and family. We have stuff, you know, like T-rated stuff like Guardians of the Galaxy, where, you know, the generation that played Season 1 of Minecraft now understands Telltale and can play with an older generation at the same time. And above and beyond anything, it's an awesome year for us. And honest to God, Telltale fans, you've been asking for some things for a very long time. A lot of our mature series and mature content, there are always going to be Telltale series for all ages. There are going to be Telltale series for mature audiences. And I think some of the stuff that you guys have been asking for a very long time, we are very close to being ready to...
You're combining the adult audiences and the child audiences,
no,
right? You're doing Bloody Sesame Street.
You're going to see things overlapping, but I think the core Telltale fans that have some pretty high expectations for us and wishes are going to be really happy this summer and this year.
It's going to be a good year for everyone, is what he's basically saying.
So obviously we're going with an episodic release again for Season 2. Do you have a sort of strict plan in how that rolls out? Because the thing is with TV is, like, I know what it's on, right? Like Game of Thrones is Sundays on HBO. With Telltale, sometimes it's here, sometimes it's there. And obviously you're creative. I'm not trying to rush you. I'm not the slave driver. You have obviously people on staff that can help you with that. But what's the sort of rollout plan for the new season?
Episode 1 is going to kick off on July 11th, and it's going to be everywhere: Xbox One, PlayStation, you know, PC, mobile, stuff
iOS.
Like that. Yeah, iOS and Android.
Every platform.
Yeah, and that's another thing too, is like Telltale is very close to appearing on devices and boxes that are probably in your living room already that you don't even think you can think of as game-playing devices.
Are you doing Nintendo Switch?
We will be on Switch with story mode later this summer, and we should be following up with more later on. So we're pretty much everywhere. That's kind of the Telltale experience. It's kind of like Netflix, but it shows up.
Now, one of the things you guys are leaning on is this sort of spectator ability, where people can sort of watch and interact. It's like kind of like Twitch plays Minecraft story mode.
Exactly. There's for those of you that aren't familiar, like sometimes we'll do things called crowd plays, and we'll get together in theater. We premiered Season 1 at the Cinerama Dome here in Hollywood. You were there.
So much fun.
Yeah, we had like 1,000 kids and family all screaming at the screen telling us what to do. We are now working with, it integrates into the game. It's called crowd play. So the core player can drive the story, and an audience can chime in from their cell phones, decide what happens. And right now, if you play over Microsoft's new Mixer platform, that happens live and one-to-one. So you can be streaming from home, and you can have an audience of viewers actually controlling the narrative from their audience perspective.
Awesome. Well, guys, thank you so much for coming. Minecraft Telltale Story
Minecraft
Mode
Story Mode Season 2.
It's a title. That's a title, all right.
Yes.
I love it.
Episode 1.
Thank you guys so much for coming. E3 continues right after this, so stick around.
A fost destul de lung. Bineînțeles că nu am avut multe de comentat, fiindcă nu sunt așa documentat în domeniu când vine vorba de jocurile Minecraft, mai ales de cel Story Mode. Ce să zic, pare interesant pentru iubitorii genului. Iar singurul lucru care pot să recomand este că jocurile făcute de Telltale au o poveste interesantă tot timpul, drăguță și care impresionează. După cum am zis, jocurile Walking Dead și The Wolf Among Us sunt foarte bune. Ok, revenim.
IGN is the world's #1